Oh, thank you, Chair. Is it afternoon yet? I've lost track of this. There we go. Good afternoon.
3 minutes.
So, looking at the grievance data from the brigade, the 29 to 24 data, it indicates that there's been a disproportionate number of grievances raised by women, LGBT plus individuals and disabled individuals. Have you examined why this is the case and what the likely reasons for this is? And this is to Jonathan.
So as we stand at the moment, what we're doing is understanding that data. As Martin was referring to before, at the last advisory panel meeting, we were going through the disproportionality since the PSU came online. And when we looked at disproportionality in the disciplinary process, it wasn't there. But as you quite rightly point out, we have seen a higher number of female members of staff in particular raising grievances in terms of their pro rata percentage within the organisation. Now, at the moment, we're really just understanding that data to really work through what's going on there. Is there something that we need to really address as to why we're seeing that higher number of particularly women coming through, but as you relate to as well in terms of those with a disability and LGBTQ plus colleagues as well, to really understand it. So at the moment, because the PSU is still relatively new in its inception and the data set is quite small, we have to really work hard to understand what is that telling us about the organisation. But you're right to point to that, and that's again why the advisory panel and the expertise that sits on that advisory panel, advising very senior officers like ourselves about what this is telling us as an organisation, is so critical. Because some of this we don't yet know. We don't yet know, is this a particular spike? Is there any reason as to why we're seeing that? Or is there something more underlying that we're just not aware of, and making sure we haven't got any blind spots as an organisation, that we're doing things or putting things in place that are actually having a detrimental impact on particular parts of our organisation. So we're still working that all through at the moment. But again, it's just why the data is so important, because it then means we can take decisions based on that data with good advice from the advisory panel and other colleagues that we're not actually putting things in place that cause us unintended consequences further down the line. But that data is still quite small in its number. That's the other difficult. When you're talking about small numbers, it's difficult to then draw firm conclusions, and we have to make sure we draw the right conclusions that then give us the right actions to take forward.
I think just to add to that is that the level of personal engagement in both myself and John meet with the staff networks very regularly, both in large groups and with the people who lead on it. I think they'd reflect that we still have issues, otherwise you wouldn't be getting the grievances. But what they have also reflected to me is that they do feel people have some confidence in reporting now. So I think it's both sides of it, but I would be cautious about stating anything as fact in here until we really unpick it. We've learned, and John's right, we've learned through kind of hard experience that you shouldn't assume anything in the numbers. You've got to really unpick and see whether there's a particular theme, is it a particular kind of societal effect, whatever it might be. And again, we would expect to come back to this committee and talk about that.